So, I have been seeing so much online content and even real life occurrences of this. I like to call it hater hysteria, and this is because I have noticed the uprise in hysteria towards people having alleged haters. It is so potent that some people appear to be fighting imaginary enemies. And I used to think this content was cool in its early stages because I related to it, and jealousy is a real thing. But now I'm just taking a step away from it because the message has been infiltrated by problematic people. The kind of people who aren't the most likable but claim people are jealous of them at any form of critique. And it's so irritating because sometimes people don't like you because you're at the head. And before, I felt like this content was genuine and authentic, but now people who act like heads are pivoting the message, and it's just become a big ego stroke for horrible people who don't like to hear about their behavior.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
Now, before a certain crowd of people get upset, I am not denying that envy and jealousy is a thing. It is 100% real. But nowadays, it is hard to avoid content or even people in real life who act like all their problems is because someone is jealous of them. And I used to see people like this in primary school to secondary school, particularly with popular people. And guys, let's be real. Back in secondary school, or high school if that's what you call it, or even primary school, let's be real here. Most of the popular kids were assholes, okay? I had to be honest and stop lying about it. Few were actually kind people. A lot of them were obnoxious, rude, did not consider anyone outside of their friend groups as being worthy of kindness. So I'm going to finally say the obvious and be direct. Most popular kids were unkind people. That's the truth I think most people aren't pointing out when they talk about certain things like bullying or being treated unfairly in an environment, school, or work. Most of the time, the person in some way, shape, or form is popular and liked by the masses. And I say this because the people now trying to talk about people always hating on them, a lot of them give off the same energy as these obnoxious popular kids back in school. Now, I am a quiet person. I have always been. I mind my business and focus on whatever I need to do. And one thing I have noticed in life is how allergic these archetypes of people are to critique about themselves.
Not everybody's jealous of you. First of all, take your ass outside. There's a lot of attractive people in this world. I don't think it's possible that all of these damn ass people on this fucking internet think everybody's fucking jealous of them. Are we projecting? I mean, I know the jealousy, projecting, like these are all just like terms we throw around, but no, like are we projecting? Like do we need to feel like people are jealous of us so that we can feel special? Are we feeling that way? Because I don't get it. As someone who grew up being like, yeah, bitches was jealous of me, I get it, but it's just like, damn, like y'all really, I still do not being like, are they jealous of me? Oh, they're just jealous of me. That's not my first thought ever. Because being a human is so complex, and I feel like jealousy is so lazy. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I'm bored. I'm bored of the everybody's jealous of me take. Because not everybody's jealous of you. Like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but especially people that grew up with their moms being like, my mom always told me, oh, well, they're just jealous of me, and that really helped my confidence. That's why they did that. I need y'all to get that. People told you that as a kid because they didn't know what else the fuck to tell you. And that is such an easy, blanket, lazy way to make somebody feel better. And so you grow up as a grown-ass person, just going around life thinking everybody's jealous of you because y'all just don't mesh well. When in reality, there's 1,000,001 reasons other than jealousy. Stay with me, that somebody doesn't like you. Nobody ever required you to think and to self-reflect, but to only deflect and not try to understand another person's perspective. I'm not saying people aren't jealous of you, because I get it. Yeah, some people are. But I feel like it's getting lazy, and I feel like y'all need that more than it's the truth, if it makes sense.
To be honest, it doesn't even have to be critique. Maybe they had a simple fallout with the person who wasn't an ass kisser, and these people never do well in these scenarios. So whenever they don't click with someone, instead of realizing it's their egotistical fault, they throw out a jealousy accusation. Oh, you're just jealous of me. You're just a hater. And this is coming from a person who is a little prideful, but even I can see when a person is pulling this nonsense. They can never see that their actions make them unlikable, so they accuse the other person of being jealous. And it's for surface level stuff too. Oh, you're jealous of my dress, my hair, or my looks. And these people make it so hard to discuss envy, because now folks will assume anyone who talks about people being jealous of them are just unkind people who lack responsibility for their actions. Now I can see why some people roll their eyes when a person talks about being hated on. And the sad thing is, some people are telling the truth and do experience this. But because a couple of assholes got into the mix and started saying the same thing, now everyone assumes the hater and jealousy topics are led by surface level people who can't admit when they are wrong.
I will never understand the people who convince themselves that every single time someone doesn't like them, it's just because they're probably jealous. When I don't like someone, I'm telling you 90% of the time or more, it's straight up because this person either wronged me or I just don't think they're like a good person.
I agree. These are literally the two reasons why even I would not want to be around a person. I don't like being around people who wrong me or anyone who gives me an off vibe. It's funny she said this. I remember in my A-levels around that time, there was this one girl in my year who everyone thought was so nice and kind. She was cute and very soft-spoken, but despite everyone liking her, I just did not feel the same. I thought from the jump that this girl was a bad person. And later down the line, I was so relieved that I was right. It turned out this girl was silently bullying one of my friends and spreading rumors about her while acting like she was her friend. It was a lot that went on, but her nice cutesy act was a mask. Low-key, people like her is why I side-eye overly sweet people. Her being cute really did have her get away with a lot. But I went off topic here, back to the video.
And yet I have met so many people who literally convince themselves that every single person who doesn't fuck with them or doesn't really like them, they're like, oh, they must be jealous of me. And I'm like, how delusional do you have to be to think that all of these people don't like you because they're just jealous of you in some way?
Exactly. Now, I am someone who believes jealousy is real and affects people, but sometimes people are disliked for valid reasons, especially when it's the kind of person where everywhere they go, they don't get along with people. People who are always beefing with folks everywhere they go are the main culprits. Why is it everywhere you go, people don't like you? You are crazy if you think it's just jealousy or because people are haters. To be hated everywhere you go, maybe it is you that is the problem. And hater hysteria is the perfect phrase to describe this phenomenon. Everyone is hysterical about these alleged haters they have. It's like a form of religious psychosis, but rather than them thinking demons are out for them, it's people. One of the reasons why I think it is happening is due to the influx of content pandering to people about being envied. I have seen plenty of content like this, where people will be telling their audience that they are disliked because they are special and the chosen one, and people see their light. And to a degree, I think that content is correct. There are people who hate others because they have good, admirable qualities within them. But that is not the case for a lot of people. This type of everyone is hating on me content, it's like some form of prosperity preaching for people who can't self-reflect. So they have to dream about being some kind of weapon of divine light to avoid the fact that their bad character is holding them back. Because most people making these posts about having haters, they're writing about a beef they currently don't have. Their life could be peaceful, but they are out here claiming they have haters. It really makes you think that at this point, some of them aren't fighting people, they're fighting principalities in high places. Because who are they talking about? You know, this is like crystal ball talk, where the message is broad and easily relatable to anyone who's listening.
In some way. For just about every person, if everywhere you go in life, you're finding people who just don't like you and you always seem to be a problem and everyone doesn't really like you, it's not because they're jealous. You're probably just not a very nice person. I've never once in my life had someone like not like me or talk shit about me and immediately think like, oh, they must be jealous. Usually the first thing I'll think is like, shit, like why don't they like me, or like, did I do something? And I've straight up had friends when I tell them about someone who doesn't like me or has been talking shit about me, and they're just like, oh, like it sounds like maybe they're just jealous of you. And every single time I'm like, like I like don't think that's what it is. Like I don't think they're jealous. I do think it is partly how you're raised. I definitely do think there are parents who think their children are perfect, and every single time since this kid has been like growing up and someone doesn't like their child or their child does something, they're like, oh, they're just jealous. And
Parents that do this with their kids, I dislike them so much. Their kids can never do no wrong in their eyes. And that just makes one raise a child who is incapable of receiving healthy feedback. This is another way to raise a narcissistic person. Now they grow up to be that self-absorbed arsehole who thinks people don't like them out of jealousy. No, people probably don't like them because they're rude. It's as simple as that for some people. Especially if people don't like you everywhere you go, and they all say the same things about you and your behavior. If a lot of people are telling you something and have identical reports about your character, and your reaction is, I'm going to ignore this. I care about my idea of myself and everyone is just jealous, a hater because I'm so divine, or I'm just so beautiful. Oh, pretty punishment, that's why I'm disliked everywhere. Sorry to break it to you, that is extreme narcissism and self-delusion. It can't get any more upfront and honest than this. And people who encourage kids with this behavior are a big issue.
And yet I have met so many people who literally convince themselves that every single person who doesn't fuck with them or doesn't really like them, they're like, oh, they must be jealous of me. And I'm like, how delusional do you have to be to think that all of these people don't like you because they're just jealous of you in some way? For just about every person, if everywhere you go in life, you're finding people who just don't like you and you always seem to be a problem and everyone doesn't really like you, it's not because they're jealous. You're probably just not a very nice person. I've never once in my life had someone like not like me or talk shit about me and immediately think like, oh, they must be jealous. Usually the first thing I'll think is like, shit, like why don't they like me, or like, did I do something? And I've straight up had friends when I tell them about someone who doesn't like me or has been talking shit about me, and they're just like, oh, like it sounds like maybe they're just jealous of you. And every single time I'm like, like I like don't think that's what it is. Like I don't think they're jealous. I do think it is partly how you're raised. I definitely do think there are parents who think their children are perfect, and every single time since this kid has been like growing up and someone doesn't like their child or their child does something, they're like, oh, they're just jealous. And when that's in your mind, like that's the way you're gonna feel. Where at least my mom was more realistic, and if someone didn't like me, she'd be like, girl, like what'd you do? She wasn't like, oh, they're just jealous of you. I don't know, I just personally know I will never think that way.
But yeah, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. This is just my quick video and opinion on this uprising, people talking about being hated on and jealousy. Yeah, there is an uprising in hater hysteria, and it's going rampant. I used to like that content before because it felt, I could relate to it. It felt real, it felt authentic. But now it just feels like some kind of brand, and it's overdone, and horrible people are using it. And it's unfortunate now that terrible people are now using it, because now they get away with saying everyone's jealous of me, when really probably it's just not a pleasure to be around, and it's that simple. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, as I said before, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
A lot of people are fake bad bitches. In fact, I feel like there's a fake bad bitch pandemic, and social media enables it every day. I saw this video of this girl basically saying that, I don't remember how the post went about because I couldn't even find it. I tried to look for it, I couldn't find it. Basically saying that, oh, even if she doesn't have an ass, at least when she sits down, her stomach does not even roll into two. And some things you say with an intent. You're not saying it because you're confident that you have a flat stomach, because you would have worded it that way. You are saying it because you're trying to make yourself feel better, that even if you lack in one area, because who gives a fuck if you have an ass or not, even if you lack in one area, at least you're better than somebody else in another area, and you have something that's desirable. That's not being a bad bitch, and that's not being confident. And many people in the comment section are saying, oh, don't mind them, people are coming for you just because they're jealous. Like, not everybody that criticizes you, especially when it's constructive, because I don't see that as your reason to start insulting the girl. But if somebody's criticizing criticizing you, that does not mean that they're jealous of you. Like, wake up. That's the reason why there are a lot of adult bullies, because they see any form of criticism as jealousy, and that's just not what life is. For you to be a bad bitch and for you to be a confident person means that you're confident with yourself, and there's no problem stating it. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm able to like outwardly state like, oh, I'm a bad bitch. I mean, I can, but then just not gotten to that point of like Tyler, for example. So this is not any room for anybody to try and hate on anybody that's comfortable stating that they're a bad bitch or they're pretty, knowing their worth. I'm not against that, and this is not ground for somebody to come and be like, oh, all them bad bitches are always stating it. If you're a bad bitch, you be quiet about it. No, I'm not telling you to be quiet about it. I'm telling you to be confident in yourself and not try to pull other people down to raise yourself up, because that just does not make any sense, and that just proves that you're not confident. Those types of people, they only befriend people that they know are insecure so that they can feel some type of way about themselves, and that is giving very, very fake bad bitch. Whatever you decide to do and how you decide to feel confident is your cup of tea. But if you're coming on TikTok every day to say people that don't do lashes are childish and braids are not a club hairstyle, or you are not a bad bitch. Like, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. You are projecting because you don't feel confident without doing those things, and you're trying to make other people feel the type of way that you feel when you don't have those things done, and that doesn't make sense. Anybody's allowed to do what they want. You're allowed to present yourself in any way that makes you feel confident. You doing your nails, you doing your lashes, it's not a sign of you being insecure. You're allowed to do those things, but what matters is that you're the one that's confident and you're doing things that are making you more confident. There's nothing wrong with having accessories or playing with makeup or styling yourself in a way that makes you more confident, but what matters is that you're not talking down on somebody that's not doing it, because it doesn't make any fucking sense.